Hello everybody, it's me, OC Busman here again, with another OC Bus schedule overview, and this time I'm gonna be going over the schedule changes this coming Sunday, October 10th, that will be happening on several OCTA bus routes. So as you know, in my last video, I've been talking about how OCT has been running a Saturday schedule on weekdays, a modified Saturday schedule with extra trips on various routes. Well, that schedule is going to remain in effect for this new schedule starting on October 11th. And the main difference is this time we'll have even more trips being added, but this time they're going to be on a couple of different routes, including some of my own home routes, which I'll explain in just a second. Now, if you haven't ridden OC bus in a while, here's a couple of things you might want to know. First is face covering is required when you're waiting and riding for the bus. Make sure to keep social distancing when you're on the bus, leaving a row or a seat in between others. Use hand sanitizer at the go on every bus, and also it says here it says to board from your door, but front door boarding is coming back in a new schedule. I'll talk more about it in just a second. Bus passes will be required again. If you do end up boarding in the front, make sure to have your fare ready. And also fewer passengers on each bus. And let's talk more about front door boarding. Let's see where it is. So right here, so in this highlighted section right here, with new safety measures that have been putting in place, they've been putting new plexiglass barriers onto the driver doors for several of the buses. I know I've actually ridden a couple of buses lately on the 53, and one of the units, 5510, is already has a barrier and they're already accepting fares again. And I also rode another unit, 5725, an XN40, which also has that new barrier. So it's slowly being phased in. I know for a fact they're implementing it with the routes 43 and 543, but I'm pretty sure a couple of other routes also have have buses with new barriers as well. So it's gonna be a phased rollout until every bus eventually has them as well. And I believe if a bus does have front door boarding again, there's gonna be a message in the front. Like if you look at the head sign, it'll say face covering required and then board at front door. So if it's doing front door boarding again, make sure to have cash or your bus pass in hand. And so as I said earlier, the Saturday schedules will be in effect, will remain in effect for all routes. And then there's been a couple of minor changes to some of the routes, and I'll show those to you as I talk about them. Here's a better view of them. So routes 54, 55, 59, 64, 70, 90, and 862. 862 being the shuttle going going around Santa Ana. And just a reminder, there's a couple of routes that only run on weekdays. Those of them being 76, 82, 85, 86, 87, 123, 167, 177, 178, 453, 463, 472, 473, and 480. And on Sundays, OCS will run their usual Sunday schedule. And since we're still running a modified schedule, there's a couple routes here still haven't come back. There's a chance they most likely won't come back until either the vaccine for COVID-19 comes out or more places reopen, such as schools or businesses, or if any offices end up coming back. Because in the case of offices, like, a lot of people have been working from home, so there weren't a lot of people taking the bus. But now that some of them are starting to reopen, workers are coming back, there'll be some more people using them. And then here's just another. This is actually where the bus book is. And here we have the new bus book. As you can see, it's as with the last one, this one is online only. So you're probably not going to find this one on any buses for now, even with front door boarding. And you can see a photo right here, a picture of a driver with the passenger boarding at the front. So although the head sign is going to be different than the one that's shown right here, which says now boarding from front. And you can see here, it's part of the National Pledge for Safety for the APTA, or the American Public Transit Association. And in case you're not familiar with OCTA's fares, you can pay them with cash on board. You can buy a prepaid pass. They have them on sale on either the OCTA store in Orange, which is actually right near Main Place Mall, or you can also buy them on the OC Bus app. So, and just a reminder, regular fare is $2, and for day pass it's $5. If you're senior disabled, your one-way fare is 75 cents and $1.50 for a one-day pass. And then for prepaid passes, it's $4.50 regular or $1.35 senior disabled. And then 30-day passes are $69 for regular, or $22.25 for senior and disabled. And then for youth passes, it's $40. And then let's skip all of this because it's just a lot of info. So here's the Route 1. It has that tripper that was added in June. Let's just skip most of these routes, since a lot of these had trippers added back in June. You can go ahead and skip all the way to the 54. Here we go. So the first major route to have changes is the 54. As you can see right here, we have 1, 2, 3 trippers between Harvard Boulevard and the Orange Transportation Center. 3 trips added. They're actually added back in July, but they weren't officially in the bus berth, or if you use a transit app, you probably didn't see these trips. But since I usually go pass by Starbucks in the afternoon, sometimes I would see these trippers running, so they're now actually part of the schedule. I've also occasionally seen some buses go all the way to Santiago Canyon College. There are also trippers. And then there's the weekend schedule. And then another change we're gonna have is the 55. The 55, you can probably see they've added the trip at 4:20 a.m. going down to Newport. But otherwise there isn't really there aren't any other differences other than that one trip. And then the next change we're going to be talking about is the 59. Here we go. So here's the 59. As you can see, we actually have another trip added in the early morning hours, both northbound and southbound. So we have a 4:50 a.m. trip departing from the district at Tustin Legacy. Now keep in mind, the 59 still doesn't go to UC Irvine yet, because most of UCI's classes are still online only. So because of that, a lot of students are staying home and taking classes remotely, but pretty sure there's a couple of workers who use the 59 to get to their destination, so they added an AM trip at 4:50 heading northbound, and then they also added a trip heading southbound at 5:56 from Anaheim going back down to the district. So that's the 59. But otherwise, the rest of the schedule is remains intact. Notice on Saturdays, you don't have the extra trip, but the 59 starts running at 5:51 a.m. And then on Sundays, the 59 starts running around 9 a.m. So that's the 59. You have the whole system map and boarding areas. The next one is the 64. Now I'm not sure. I believe they added a couple of trips to 64, but it's listed in one of it's listed in the new as having minor changes. So I'm probably gonna skip that one for now. And also, I noticed on 66, they actually, the first couple of trips on 66 actually go all the way to Irvine Valley College. This is interesting because I remember the first 2 trips went to Irvine Valley College, but then, every But then after that, it's like every third trip goes to Irvine. And then we still have all those trippers that go to Warren Square in the afternoon. So that's the 66. And then we have the 70. It says that the 70 has changes listed, but I might need to take a closer look at what they are, because if you look at the schedule, it still looks about the same as it does from last time, June, where we had some extra early morning trips from Sunset Beach. And then westbound, there doesn't seem to be any changes either. It just looks about the same. So that's the 70. Okay, so, and then the next one is, I believe it's 90. Here we go. So for the 90, we have, we have an extra trip added at 5:10 a.m. from Dana Point Harbor, all the way to Tustin Station. I believe they actually added this trip back in July. They added it to the June schedule, but it hasn't been listed, so it's finally listed on the schedule. And then the last change I'm going to talk to you guys about is the 862. So the 862, they changed the time of one of the trips from 6:40 a.m. to 6:45 a.m. and it's to better align with one of the Metrolink train's arrival times for passengers to get off and board the bus and get to their destination. But otherwise, the shuttle runs every 20 minutes around Santa Ana from 6 a.m. to midnight throughout the day. So, and then with that concludes my overview of the October schedule change happening this coming Sunday, October 11th, 2020. So, if you have any other questions about the schedule, feel free to answer them down in the comments below. Otherwise, hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to stay safe, make sure to wear a mask, take advantage of that hand sanitizer that they offer on buses, and make sure to stay apart from other passengers who are not from the same household. And otherwise, hope to see you keep watching my videos, because I'm actually gonna release some stuff that I shot in LA recently, because I went to LA with the Metropolitan Network last month to record the 720 for his channel, which should be coming out in the future. I caught a lot of footage from that trip, and then I'm also gonna have some Foothill Transit videos coming soon as well, because some of their Nabby 60 BRTs are retiring soon, so I gotta get those before they're gone for good, along with their new XM60s. I already had one of those buses in my channel, 2901, so go check that out already. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this look at the minor schedule update on October 11th. And there's the best man here, signing off.